In this video, I'm going to explain the three types of businesses that are best to acquire going into 2024. So you may want to make sure you stick around in this video because it's not only knowing what businesses to acquire, that's the thing, it's also knowing how to get the capital in place to actually acquire the business in the first place. If not, why try? So the first type of business I recommend everybody consider are senior home care living facilities and similar types of businesses. Because dealing with elderly people, like if you just look at the population pyramid, and one of our CFAs, this is one of our CFAs on the team that has a PhD in economics, and he's a CFA and everything, a tax expert. And so one thing that I learned is you have to look at the credit system like this. People who are young typically are really consumer oriented. They don't have much cash or wealth, and usually they live on credit and they don't have much actual money and wealth. But really it's the older people, the older generations that have more money. So if you look at the population distribution, the age distribution amongst people in North America, it's mostly old people. There are more old people than young people. And many people in the West are not having kids, so people are depending on either immigration or things like that to fill up the young population. My point is that most of the wealth is in the older people. At the same time, baby boomers are going to retirement homes in droves. And these types of businesses are extremely profitable because you have real estate, you have very cheap costs to fulfill because some of the nurses and some of the people that help the old people in the old folks' homes, their payments are really low. And we personally worked with people that successfully acquired senior home care living facilities, and seeing how they acquire these senior home care living facilities, we know that it's a great type of business to get into. And so those are the types of businesses that I recommend taking a deep look at because they're very profitable. And that's number one, because not only do you have the cash flow, you also have the real estate attached to the cash flow as well. So number two, you also want to take a look at businesses that are lending businesses, because financial service businesses are great businesses to acquire because they're in the business of transacting. So if you acquire a business that is all about lending money out or being a broker between transactions in a certain market, that could be really good. One of the easier types of businesses to acquire could be a business in America that's licensed by the national licensing system in the United States, regulate what type of business can be licensed to give out loans. And this is only for loans and for debts, for people that want to be lenders or companies that want to lend out money. So acquiring these types of businesses is really interesting because if there's high interest rate and there's a business that has a lot of flow, you can just acquire the business. And the only thing is that to operate the business, the person has to be licensed. So the only thing you have to consider is that you have to have a license to be a lender, which I think takes 2 years or 1 year of experience or less, depending on it, and you have to take some courses. Or you just partner with somebody who can operate the business, but you can be the owner. The last business that you should look at acquiring are car washes. And the reason why I say car washes is because we personally know somebody that acquired a car wash, and we helped him understand the process and getting it done. And so as he acquired the car wash, it was a really smooth transaction, and it's a really simple business. So the idea is the car wash was already making money, but the problem was that the people that ran the car wash, it was an older local couple. They didn't know, they weren't modern with technology, and they didn't really have the energy to make it more modern and make it more flashy. So the person made the acquisition, they increased the services, they added software to make a subscription service, and they improved the facility to make it more pretty. The only downside is that obviously with all these businesses, it takes time and effort more than you would think. Like he had to sacrifice some time in other endeavors to dedicate at least 30 hours per week on the business until it reaches a certain point where you can leave it, delegate, and scale. So, if you're willing to do that, then consider finding these types of businesses before 2025. Look at the types of interest rate that you can get and make sure you find a way to raise the down payment to acquire these businesses if you need to, because it's not every deal that they'll let you raise the money and get the money without raising some equity, raising a down payment to make the acquisition, because the lender will give you some money and you have to raise it less. So if this is something that you'd like to do, make sure you head to raises.com to learn more and subscribe to get entered in a monthly giveaway. We'll see you in the next one.